Gold Rush Episode 17 Rogue Foreman showcased the ongoing struggles of the mining crews as they faced major setbacks in their pursuit of gold. With Parker Schnabel, Tony Beets, and Kevin Beets all encountering obstacles, the race to meet their ambitious season goals is becoming increasingly challenging. Parker Schnabel's struggles at Dominion Creek. Parker Schnabel has been facing difficulties at Dominion Creek, forcing him to lower his season goal from 10,000 to 8,000 ounces. Running 2 of his 3 wash plants, he is relying heavily on Dominion Creek and the long cut to keep operations going. However, setbacks continued when Sulphur Creek ran out of stockpiled pay dirt, shutting down that operation completely. This increased the pressure on his remaining operations to pick up the slack. Determined to boost production, Parker's right-hand man, Mitch Blaschke, spearheaded efforts at the long cut, utilizing 2 massive AS-60 rock trucks to deliver 600 yards of dirt per hour. The operation seemed to be moving smoothly until one of Parker's new operators, 22-year-old James Kurtz, encountered a serious mechanical issue. His truck emitted concerning noises, flashing 4 error codes, and soon ground to a halt. Upon inspection, the team discovered that the drive shaft had broken, which in turn destroyed the brake lines and hydraulic hoses. The damage was extensive, bringing operations to an abrupt stop. Fortunately, mechanic Taylor Mateka acted swiftly, getting the downed vehicle back to the yard for repairs. Within 6 hours, they were up and running again, but the delay had cost them valuable production time. Despite their efforts, the weekly gold weigh-in was disappointing. Big red processed material from the bridge cut, yielding 100.08 ounces, while rock sand at the long cut brought in 206.08 ounces, almost 100 ounces less than the previous week. This marked Parker's worst gold count in 7 weeks, an alarming sign as the season reaches its peak. With time running out, Parker and his crew must find a way to ramp up production if they want any chance of reaching their revised goal. Kevin Beets faces a crisis and a rogue foreman. Kevin Beets has been dealing with first-year mine boss growing pains, working tirelessly to keep his operation running. Having invested nearly $2 million into his venture, he had only recovered 155 ounces toward his 1,000-ounce goal. His focus shifted to the Lynx Cut extension at Scribner Creek, but progress stalled when a truck got stuck due to severe water issues. The cut quickly turned into a muddy disaster, making further excavation nearly impossible. To make matters worse, Kevin desperately needed a pump to drain the area, but he had already borrowed one from his father, Tony, to keep his wash plant running. Without a spare, he found himself in a tight spot. Tensions flared as Foreman Brennan Rualt grew frustrated with the situation. The continuous seepage of sluice water into their work area made it increasingly difficult to keep the operation moving forward. Exasperated by the delays and lack of resources, Rualt suddenly stormed off, waving off the camera crew and disappearing without telling Kevin where he was going. His absence left Kevin and the rest of the team in the lurch, uncertain of how to proceed. After a tense period of waiting, Rualt finally returned with an unexpected solution. He had taken matters into his own hands and purchased a brand new $11,000 pump out of pocket. The bold move came as a shock, but it ultimately saved the operation, allowing them to continue working at the Lynx Cut. This act of defiance demonstrated Rualt's deep commitment to keeping the crew on track, even if it meant going against protocol. At the weekly gold weigh-in, Kevin's parents, Tony and Minnie Beets, arrived to collect their 10% royalty. The Lynx Cut yielded 156.60 ounces, worth over $390,000, making it Kevin's most successful haul of the season. This doubled his total to 312 ounces, proving he was on the right track despite the challenges. However, with less than a third of his goal achieved and the season ticking away, Kevin will need to maintain this momentum if he hopes to turn his investment into a success. Tony Beets battles environmental hazards. Tony Beets had started strong this season, but his momentum slowed due to running at limited capacity. With only one wash plant operational, his 5,000-ounce goal was at risk. Further compounding his troubles, he noticed dirty water from the trommel was flooding into the settling pond, creating a major environmental risk. If the contaminated water spilled into a nearby creek, authorities could shut them down completely. This forced Tony and his team to put a stop to sluicing until they could reinforce the dike and control the flow of sediment-laden water. To prevent disaster, Tony's son, Mike, led efforts to reinforce the dike. His team worked quickly, utilizing a side dump truck and a D11 dozer to level the ground and contain the water. However, the situation took a turn for the worse when crew member Curtis Koch accidentally tipped his vehicle, leaving it precariously hanging off a 15-foot drop. The mishap not only put Koch in a dangerous position but also threatened to halt operations entirely. Mike called in Tony for assistance, and together they devised a plan to carefully separate the truck from its trailer before pulling each piece to safety. The rescue mission nearly resulted in another accident when Mike almost crashed the semi into his excavator, but after 2 days of downtime, the team successfully got back to work. The ordeal underscored the risks involved in mining operations and the importance of precision in high-pressure situations. In the midst of these struggles, Mike and Tony stumbled upon an antique piece of mining equipment dating back 80 to 90 years. The discovery added a touch of nostalgia to the episode, hinting at the long history of gold mining in the region. While it wasn't an immediate solution to their problems, it was a reminder of the industry's enduring legacy and the evolution of mining technology over the decades. Finally, after 3 nights and 2 days of sluicing, the Beets family recovered 143.58 ounces of gold, worth approximately $350,000. This brought their season total to around 3,800 ounces, leaving them still in the race to hit their 5,000-ounce target. Episode 17 of Gold Rush was packed with high-stakes drama as each mining crew fought against mounting obstacles. Parker Schnabel is facing a daunting challenge to meet his revised goal, while Kevin Beets is learning firsthand the hardships of leading his own operation. Meanwhile, Tony Beets continues to battle environmental risks and mechanical failures as he pushes toward his ambitious target. With only a few episodes left in the season, the pressure is on for all 3 teams to strike gold before time runs out. The coming weeks will reveal whether Parker can turn his operation around, if Kevin can keep his newfound momentum, and whether Tony's team can overcome their setbacks to meet their goal. One thing is for sure: every ounce counts, and the stakes have never been higher. As Gold Rush Season 15 inches closer to its finale, the pressure is mounting for Parker Schnabel, Tony Beets, and Kevin Beets. With unpredictable conditions, mechanical failures, and dwindling time, each team must strategize carefully if they want to hit their season targets. Based on recent episodes, let's break down the likely outcomes for each miner and their operation. Parker Schnabel's revised goal of 8,000 ounces still looms large over his operation. With Sulphur Creek running dry, his reliance on Dominion Creek and the Long Cut is now absolute. While Mitch Blaschke and the crew have been working tirelessly to ramp up production, setbacks like broken machinery and low gold weigh-ins have stalled momentum. Tony Beets started the season strong, but with only one wash plant running and frozen ground stalling progress at Indian River, his 5,000-ounce goal is far from guaranteed. Mike Beets has been carrying a significant load at Paradise Hill, but environmental concerns and equipment mishaps have slowed production. If things remain slow, Tony may shift focus to securing new equipment for next season rather than overextending this year's operation. Kevin Beets has had a rough start as a first-year mine boss. Investing nearly $2 million of his savings, he's barely scratched the surface of his 1,000-ounce goal. With water issues plaguing his Scribner Creek cut and limited resources, he's been forced to rely on ingenuity and the loyalty of his crew. Tensions with Foreman Brennan Rualt could escalate if they continue to struggle with equipment and pay dirt shortages. Tony and Mini Beets may step in with additional resources or guidance, especially if Kevin falls too far behind. The weekly weigh-ins will be crucial. If Kevin's gold counts don't start climbing, he may have to settle for a major loss this season. With only a few episodes left, the race for gold is heating up. The final weeks will be a true test of strategy, perseverance, and adaptability. Parker will fight tooth and nail to recover, but his 8,000-ounce goal remains a long shot. Tony's operation will hinge on whether Indian River thaws in time. Kevin faces the biggest uphill battle, and his ability to learn from his mistakes will determine if he ends the season in triumph or defeat. No matter what happens, Gold Rush Season 15 is shaping up to have an intense, nail-biting conclusion. Stay tuned to see who strikes it rich and who falls short.